a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to, refund you.
Ladies and gentlemen, freaks of all ages, welcome to the Three Freaks Circus. Step right up as we bring you the strangest sights from the four corners of the internet. Come see it all in our three-ring circus of terror, hauntings, movies, and all things horror. Come one, come all, welcome to the Three Freaks Circus. Yeah, this week from the Freak Tent, we celebrate Tom Savini's birthday. We submit for your perusal The Night Hag, and Mistress V shows you her latest bitchcraft for broke-ass witches. Welcome to the Three Freak Circus! Hey witches, how you doing out there? This is the Ringmaster. Welcome to the Three Freak Circus. We got Mistress V, Psychotron. We're here to teach you, show you a little bit about what's going on in the world of horror, some movie news, some back scene stuff, and places you can still get your freak on even though October's over. But, you know, Halloween's never really over, right, guys?
Nope. Never.
That's right. It's a year-round thing with us, boys and girls. So, we're going to turn things loose with Psychotron. He's going to talk about one of our favorite actors/horror designers. Take it away, brother.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I don't know about you, but I got lots of snow here. Yeah, so we're talking about happy late birthday to a 70th birthday to Tom Savini. The guy is an absolute legend when it comes to not only acting, but especially his practical special effects. He is one of the best. I mean, right up there with any other greats you can mention. Excuse me. He's done a lot of work in not just horror films either. He's was the lead special effects artist on Team America, as well as some other movies that you'll know, and you can check them out. We've got some links provided for that. He has over 40 movies under his belt that are mostly household names. I mean, even people that are non-horror fans, if you say the name of it, people will recognize it. He's also acted in over 60 movies and directed 6. Prolific is an understatement when it comes to this guy. You'll probably most likely remember him for his role as Sex Machine in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, yeah, that was the guy that had the little pea shooter pop out of his belt, wasn't he?
Yeah, it flips down onto his crotch. He's like the biker guy, you know, sitting at the back of the bar. Yeah, and him and Jim Brown are whooping some vampire ass. I would say as a director, his most notable accomplishments are Creepshow, Tales from the Dark Side, and Night of the Living Dead, which was a 1990 remake from the 1968 classic. But we're here to check out his practical special effects for the most part and pay him homage and wish him a happy 70th birthday. He's looking good for 70, that's for sure. So we're talking about work on the Jason makeup in the first Friday the 13th when Jason pops up out of the water with that iconic scene at the end of the movie where it's the lone surviving teenage chick that's left, the female lead in the movie, and he comes up, Jason, the boy Jason, comes up out of the water, all deformed and mossy. That was Tom Savini. He also did Friday the 13th for the final chapter that starred Corey Feldman, and Kevin Bacon was in it as well. And the special effects in that, as you'll see in the clips later, is just phenomenal. I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's got that positive cringe factor when you see it. It makes you look and say, "Oh my god!" Like when Kevin Bacon gets killed with the arrow, and when Jason gets his head sliced with the machete, and then he falls down on it face first. I think if you guys remember the scene, and he just slowly slides down the machete on his face. It is one of the gnarliest scenes of all time, in my opinion. So his other practical special effects include Dawn of the Dead, which is a classic zombie movie. I mean, it basically reinvented the whole genre after Night of the Living Dead, and modern day zombie films, they draw inspiration from that. Creepshow, Alone in the Dark, Day of the Dead, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Creepshow 2, Monkey Shines, and a lot of others. I have to say, from a personal point of view, that I think it's an absolute travesty that Tom Savini has never won or even been nominated for an Academy Award, and he should be. But that's just my opinion. But what the fuck does the Academy know anyway, right?
Right.
He did win a Saturn Award for Best Makeup and is a student of the craft from Carnegie Mellon University, as well as a teacher there, which is the most predominant theater college in the world. Savini also runs the Tom Savini special makeup effects program at the Douglas Education Center in Monessen, Pennsylvania. And he says that he's happy to refer offers that he receives now for movie makeup effects projects to his students and graduates of his school.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's something really neat that he does for people and kind of passing the torch on. But I don't think there's going to be too many more like him. Hopefully his students are paying attention.
So is he still teaching, or is it just like his program?
No, he still teaches, I believe, at Carnegie too. I think he has an professorship role or whatever you want to call it there.
Right. So like I can go and hopefully get enrolled there and actually get taught by Tom Savini. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a real possibility. The way I watched an interview with him, and it happened really quick for him. He was still an undergraduate, and he had applied and was showing his portfolio around, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna teach, and you're gonna run a program." And he was like, "I'm not even a graduate yet." So as I imagine his natural ability, and he's been doing it since he was, I think, in 4th grade. He said,
"Wow."
Just messing with prosthetics and fake skin and figuring out ways to make stuff, just gross people out, gross mom out. But he said his advice is get as much of your work out there as you can and show as many people as you can and take pictures of everything from every angle that you can think of. And eventually, maybe one day there might be somebody that can help you or can pass you on to somebody that can help you.
Right. And that's really cool that he actually refers his students for projects.
Oh yeah.
That's a good guy there. Oh yeah. No, I'm 70, but I'll still take them on,
Yeah. And just
it kind of goes to show like how much he actually loves what he does, because you don't keep doing something that long unless you have a legitimate passion, a real love for it.
Right.
Well, and the lack of ego and me that he has when it comes to that type of work, willing to, what if, could you imagine being an effects student and having Tom Savini come up to you and say, yeah, they approached me for the next Nightmare on Elm Street film, but I'm just happy teaching. You want to take that on? There you go.
Well,
yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, just having Tom come up and critique your work, like, yeah, that looks pretty good, but I was doing this stuff when I was 9.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
So, thanks,
hope
Tom. Thank you, Professor.
I'm hoping at some point, or if there's some way we can start a petition to at least get the Academy to give him a lifetime achievement Oscar or something, because there's not he's a for lack of better words, a dying breed. There's not him and a few other guys and gals out there. There's not very many people that can do what they do
Oh
anymore,
no, no.
or get a chance to,
Definitely.
because
No, it's all gone digital. Nobody wants to take the time to learn these practical effects. The closest thing we're getting nowadays is these people that are making their own masks and prosthetics. Um, I do belong to quite a few horror groups, and I noticed the younger generation, the kids are coming up with some pretty cool stuff out there. There's a lot of crafty people. There's a Ash Williams fan group I belong to. This one guy, actually made Ash's power hand from the latest series.
that's awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're really cool, and he sells them for like $400 or $500 a piece.
Wow.
But it takes him 3-4 months to build one of these things. He prototypes them and makes all his own components out of his 3D printer. And
I think that a lot of the younger generation is rediscovering horror, the older horror, and maybe getting back into it. And like, wow, that's really cool. That grosses me out, because
yeah,
I don't get a jump from a. I mean, some of the like newer movies they do with like that's got a ghost story element to it, or like a haunting. Some of that gets me with the CGI. They'll get a scare out of you, a little jump out of you or something like
right.
that. But I want to be like, oh my god, like Jesus, what is happening
Yeah,
right
Nothing
now?
hits you like the texture of real.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And that's what I really like about the independent filmmakers. We can't call them B films anymore. Is that derogatory? Um, that the independent filmmakers, because these are the guys still doing their own practical effects. They're having to
yeah.
come, okay, I want to make this. Uh, do I call Tom Savini and find out how? At least with the internet now, they've got all that kind of information.
But I
You,
mean, you could probably just watch a workshop or something
yeah.
of
Well, I was
his
gonna
or
say
something.
a
Yeah.
YouTube video, man.
Yeah.
Hell, they got people on there doing everything nowadays.
And I think like one of the scenes, and I don't know if that's for everybody, but to this day, and I think I was 7 the first time I saw the first Nightmare on Elm Street. The scene where Tina dies in the bedroom and she's floating across the ceiling and she gets sliced open and you can't see, is one of the that scene still bothers me just
Right.
a little bit. I don't know why it's always affected me that way, but you just can't get her acting was pretty good too. I mean, that sounded like somebody dying,
Yeah.
but um, you don't get that with the CGI. Savini doesn't, from what I've read and stuff like that, he doesn't really seem to give much of an opinion on the CGI like Baker did.
Right.
But that's probably a business decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not burn that bridge before we've crossed it.
Yeah,
You know. What did I was watching Poltergeist the other day. You want to talk about practical effects?
yeah,
The scene where yeah, just you know, uh, great movie all around. But the scene where she's in the bedroom and getting tossed around. I was telling the missus, I was like, they recreated this room on a rotating set
hmm,
and spun it to create that effect. Nowadays, yeah, it just all be motion capture and boop, 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 boop.
right.
Even the video games are better animation than we've ever had as kids.
A kid would have a corporate lawyer and an agent and
Yeah,
just
oh
throw
yeah,
them around.
right. And a stunt double.
Yeah, they really got into the darkness on the original Poltergeist. Man, there's a lot of weird shit that went on with that movie. Um,
Yeah.
they
Uh,
used real cadaver skeletons for that scene at the end where they're flooding.
oh, in the
Ooh.
pool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, the wife the other day. We just built this house a few years ago, And when they were digging the basement, we had that for a little while because it rained to beat all hell. And I wish I would have taken pictures, man. It looked just like the pool scene.
You should have thrown some creepy shit in there.
I should have. I should have thrown some
Dollar
skeletons in there
store
just
bones
to
and
save the
shit.
picture. But
Invite-
yeah, now I'm sitting there.
Call the plumber and then just rise up out of the water. Naked.
No, man, it was November. No.
Well, it'd be terrifying for you.
Even
and
more
terrifying for him.
believable.
Yeah.
It was cold outside.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, I was in the pool. But let me play that Savini video before I get myself in any more trouble.
Tom Savini is a master of illusion. His contributions to horror films and special effects are legendary. From zombies to slashers, his work is both influential and iconic, and most importantly, still looks impressive years later. Join me as I count down my top 10 Tom Savini special effects. Number 10, The Prowler. There's a bunch of great kills in The Prowler, and I classified in a trio of films Savini did where the kills are really nasty and mean, along with Maniac and The Burning. Not fun type kills where you laugh after them, but more super violent and realistic that leave you feeling horrible. This shotgun blast is a perfect example. Number 9, Friday the 13th, Kevin Bacon. One of Savini's main tricks he likes to include in his effects is using as much of the real actor in the effect as possible. He uses this to its maximum when killing Kevin Bacon, combining a real head and a fake chest and neck. It looks seamless even today. This kill must have had audiences in 1980 squirming in their seats. Number 8,
That was
Rick
gross.
the Prick, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Yeah, I know it's not Rick the Prick who gets the chainsaw in the head, but his best bro does. This effect is amazing, but also it's a bit different because you don't see the saw actually make impact, which makes it kind of better because you think they got away for a second until the top of this guy's head starts falling off. Again, making use of a real actor, then a fake head with real hands.
Yeah.
Top-notch stuff. Number 7, Maniac. In this horrific shotgun kill, it's Tom himself who takes the 12 gauge. The Maniac leaps onto the hood of the car and blows Savini's head off in slow motion. And this headshot is disgusting. Savini shot the fake head himself with a real 12 gauge shotgun, and the film crew had to take off before the police showed up, as they had no permit to do it. Now that's devotion to your craft.
Hell yeah.
Number 6, Creepshow. Savini loves to make creature effects just as much as he loves his splatter stuff. And in Creepshow, an
I love
entire
that guy.
segment is devoted to one of his best ever. Fluffy is an eating machine inspired by the Tasmanian devil. It looks great and seems like a real animal that could actually attack people as opposed to a fictional creature or something. And as great as it is in the movie, it looks even better in behind-the-scenes footage and pictures that I've seen of it. I think this is due to the comic book lighting in the movie. Maybe one day we'll see Fluffy return under brighter lighting. Number 5, The Burning. It's not very often you see a slasher kill multiple people at once. But in The Burning, the killer somehow floats his way over in a canoe to a raft with a bunch of kids on it. He stands up with his hedge clippers and goes to town, just stabbing and slashing everyone in sight. The editing and effects in this are amazing and come out of nowhere. This fairly dull movie would be forgotten by now if not for this memorable scene. Number 4, Dawn of the
Helicopter zombie.
Dead. Dawn of the Dead has an endless amount of kills and effects to choose from, but this one is special. The creativity in it is really something. When you see the zombie approaching, you have the idea that his head is going to get taken off by the blades. But instead, he kind of stands up slowly and just has a few inches of the top of his head sheared off. It was done by building up the actor's head and pulling it away in layers. Then the helicopter blades were animated in afterwards. Number 3, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, Jason's death. This effect has many elements to make it great. First, the action slows down for a second while Tommy Jarvis tricks Jason, and then Trish grabs the machete and takes a swing at his face but hits the mask instead. This is when we get a glimpse of the deformed face, which is a masterpiece of makeup on its own. But then he gets hit in the side of his head with the machete and falls to his knees, and then face first to the ground, pushing the machete even more into the face and head. Amazing. The impact hit is a reverse shot. Then to the actor with a machete in his face reacting. Then a life-size full-body puppet for the head being sliced. Considering at the time people were going to the movie with the promise of Jason getting killed permanently, this did not disappoint anyone, and it's shocking that the censors let them show as much of it as they did. Number 2, Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is Savini's best work by far, and the entire movie is flawless in the effects department. But most of the effects are basically perfected versions of things we've seen before. But the 2 zombies that are being experimented on by Logan are showstoppers. One has his whole head scraped away except for the brain, but still has a fully intact body that you can see moving. And the other has the stomach fully removed. And when he sits up, all the guts spill out of it all over the floor. This is disgusting and amazing at the same time. It's done by having some of the actor inside the table, but enough of his real body on top that he can move around. I realize there are many more great effects in this movie, but I felt that these were the most original. They've never been done before this, and they've never been done after. They're flawless the first time out. Number 1, Friday the 13th, Jason. Now I know some people will disagree with this, but hear me out. Tom Savini, in my opinion, is directly responsible for this movie turning into the most successful horror franchise of all time. Nowhere in the original script is Jason described as being deformed. His appearance is truly frightening, and you only kind of see it earlier in the film. So when he comes up from the water at the end and pulls Alice under, you're seeing Tom Savini's creation, not the director's. In my opinion, if you're judging a special effect on the actual effect that it has on the audience, then this is by far his greatest achievement. Even Savini has said that they would be waiting outside the screenings of the movie, and they'd hear the crowd scream at the top of their lungs when Jason came out of the water. Giving that extra layer to the character of Jason helped this movie and the character become a worldwide phenomenon and cultural icon that is still huge today. And you can't get bigger than creating an icon. Well, that's it for my list of top 10 Tom Savini special effects moments in movies. Do you agree with my list? Is there any that I missed that are really important? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to rate and subscribe.
Big shout out to Bird Hands. That was a really good top 10 list. I do have an issue with the order.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely would have put, Dawn of the Dead there, or yeah.
I would have took the Friday the 13th, the final chapter scene before that one too, where he slides down on the machete. I think that's a good one.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. But,
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully many more years to come from him.
Did he
Yes.
have a hand in the 2004 Dawn of the Dead?
Let's see here.
Fun fact.
Do-do-do.
Gonna kind of give away
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
when I
Oh,
got
yeah,
into.
Sorry.
It'll kind of give away when I got into scary stuff, and barely, but that was the first horror movie I ever saw. Was the 2004 one where they're in the mall and shit.
He
Really?
did not.
You started late.
Way
young.
late.
She's a youngin'.
Yeah.
Way late. And then I was like, whoo, it was a little intense because, I wasn't stone cold sober when I saw that. But so there was another gap for a while where I didn't touch the hard stuff. And then a couple of my friends got me to watch like House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects and
Yeah,
Jeepers
those are good
Creepers, like all in the same weekend.
Jeepers
Oh,
Creepers.
and Hills Have Eyes. That was pretty.
Oh,
That one I
they
felt like she was
inaugurated-
really breaking. She was breaking me in hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they inaugurated you well.
Yeah, those all four were in one weekend, and then I took another break because I was like, man, you guys are like, I don't know about this. Anyway, I had one of my other friends beg me for years to watch scary movies with her, and I'm sure someday we'll actually probably have her on here, and she'll tell you guys what a pussy I am.
Well, to answer your question, he didn't. I'm sure they probably like, hey, Tom, so
Like
what do you think about
consulted.
this? But he was an actor in the 2004 Dawn of the Dead. He played the
That's
county
what I was
sheriff.
thinking, was that I saw
Yeah.
him in there.
Yep, he played the county sheriff.
Cool.
Yeah,
little
when
tribute.
you brought up that you were doing the story on him, That's what I said. I'm like, I've seen this guy.
Hmm.
And yeah, he was like we said, he's been in Dawn of the Dead. You made the comment before the show that he's actually done more acting than.
In his filmography, he's actually got 60 roles as an actor in a movie, and he's got a little over 40 as a practical special effects lead. Yeah.
Oh,
So he does a little, but he's directed 6 as well. So he does a little bit of everything. And I think he probably enjoys the acting part more than the special effects. I think is something he was born with, something to do. The guy that's the special effects artist, always wants to be the actor. The actor always wants to, well, I don't know. A lot of actors are douchebags, but I know, like what you do for work, Ringmaster. Like I don't know how to do anything like that, and you always want to know how to do stuff like that when you don't know how to do it. At least I do. Like I want to be good at the stuff that I'm not good at.
right.
So I think he's got a
dude. I want to be good at what I do. It's a constant learning thing. I've been a machinist for 20 years, doing specializing in aerospace, and just the past couple weeks they've had me doing stuff that I've never done before. Some guy didn't show up for work.
Here.
Hey, can you go over and figure this out? Sure.
this little tiny part that the rocket needs. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no,
Well,
ours isn't one use shit, man. I make helicopter parts for the military.
You're showing me that.
Yeah, so when
But you got to get that right.
Oh yeah, man. And, we literally make what they call an oh shit nut. If this it holds together the rotors, holds the main bearing and everything down. We make the pins that hold the rotors in. So this stuff is, if it goes bad, our boys are coming down. So
Yeah.
we have to be extremely critical in everything we do. And
Oh yeah. See, I'd be fucking nervous wreck doing stuff like that. And then like
Yeah.
with Val's artistic ability, I'm the same way. Like I wish I could do more things like that. But like if you ask me to draw something or stitch something, like it comes out, like I could sit there for an hour and be like, do you have your the human anatomy drawn, and it'll be a stick figure.
Yeah, this stick figure with
Speaking of
boobs.
human
Yeah.
anatomy,
Okay.
Have you been doodling during the show?
no, it was later before we started, but I was really proud of it.
That's
Oh.
there all the time.
Are
Okay.
you making one of your wieners?
Cool. Oh, I am working on a couple. I'm still working on the zombie wiener.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, when I get that green fluffy one made. Your job, ringleader, ringmaster. Sorry.
Either way, I'm good.
Fucking,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like those are interchangeable jobs, but
Yeah.
your job's really neat, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this before. It's cool that you actually get to talk about it. My grandmother.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to actually.
Oh, my
well.
grandmother.
You're gonna find out.
Right. I guess we'll figure it out. But my grandmother used to tell me stories about my grandfather, and he passed away in like 1994. I was still very small, so a lot of the stuff I know about him is secondhand from my grandma. And she's told me that he did stuff for NASA and Ford Aerospace, and he was never allowed to talk about anything. So it was like, oh, hey, how was your day? And that was literally all, oh, it was fine. Like, he couldn't come home and talk about all the cool shit, and he was a really smart guy, and he did really neat stuff that he couldn't tell anybody about. And I was thinking, man, so much cool knowledge, was lost.
Yeah, and you can't share it with anybody.
And even even if we knew any of it, we couldn't talk about it. But
Right.
I assure you, I don't know any of it.
Nothing I do is like big military secrets or anything. I do have to sign non-disclosures and all that I won't, give away. Actually patented secrets or anything. But yeah, I love machining because at the end of the day, I can hold in my hand what I've done. When I go home at the end of the day, I can look in the box and see I did that. You have an actual quantitative quantitative result to your day's effort. I've done the desk job thing. You walk out of there after 8-10 hours and your desk still looks the same. There's nothing to show for it. That's one of the big things. I've been that place I'm at now. Used to be the quality manager. Didn't like it. I wasn't creating anything. All I did was make paperwork all day, and
Right.
it did not give me joy. Um, when I used to work for the carnival, that job gave me more joy than anything. One, because I knew that if I did my job right, people lived. The rides I moved involved flinging people around in the air 40, 50 feet, at high speeds. If I didn't make sure every damn bolt on that thing was tight, somebody could go flying. And knock on wood, 8 years and nobody died.
And
I
everyone got
got
to have fun.
It's a good
yeah.
thing.
I got jacked up a few times. I fell off the bumper cars,
The
got kicked
fact
by
that you still have
merry-go-round
all your
horses.
fingers
I
there.
still got all my fingers, all my toes, yeah. Most of
Well,
my
it's
teeth.
I was with some of the stuff that because you guys know, maybe a lot of the audience doesn't know that I do profile taskings on terrorist groups and stuff like that, and I'm allowed to talk about it because it's open source, so they want to see what I can see without any special inside knowledge or anything else like that. But
All
they
right.
also said I wouldn't go telling a lot of people about that like I just did.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
because you never
you
know.
told one person, so
Yeah, you never know who's gonna be like, oh well. But the I think the weirdest thing that I ever had was there's a group called the Counterterrorism Group, and they're an international group, but they're based in Europe. And I got an email from them, and I had to do this confirmation process, and they said we want you to do a profile tasking on Al Shabaab in Africa and Boko Haram, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And they're like, you have 24 hours to do it. And that's it. Don't respond to this email after that. Anything else, I sent it in. I ended up getting a offer for a internship for it in Washington, D.C. Got a call and stuff like that. And, but guess what? It was, move yourself out and pay for your own.
uh,
And with the kids and stuff like that. But so it's interesting stuff, and I'm glad I can talk about getting to do it and everything else. But it
go ahead.
still doesn't feel to me like, I don't know. I just think that stuff I've been interested in, good at, but I back to the point is I've always wanted to be good at like the stuff that you do and art stuff and everything else.
Well, I'm a creator. I'm a
Yeah.
fabricator.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm making stuff at work. That's one of my biggest joys about doing the haunt. My home haunt is that I get to build stuff.
Yeah.
And it sucks scrounging for stuff because I'm a broke bitch. But at the end of the day, it's more satisfying because I went and I found this piece of scrap over here and that dial and grabbed this solenoid off of some piece of equipment and turned it into a dude that shakes and jiggles across the floor. You know,
But yeah, and that's like it's a tangible thing. Like I
yeah,
was talking to my neighbor the other day, and we were talking about what he does, and he's like, "Well, because right now, I mean, to be frank, I am physically and mentally disabled. To be honest with you, I was a firefighter for a long time as well as the military, but I've got some injuries, and what I do, like profile tasking wise, I do for school, even though it's still a legitimate thing, and
mm,
real people see it and maybe use it, maybe don't. I was talking to my neighbor about what he does, and he's like, "What are you doing these days?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I do this." I was like, "Here, you want to read this 45-page report on some group you've never heard of with super technical language?" And he's like, like one of these days, you know."
well, what was that you gave us? You gave us a link to read the other day. One of your papers for one of your classes, and I read the title, and I'm like, no, no, that's okay.
Yeah, that's usually what I get.
Yeah,
The problem I'm having is I know that I need to sit down and focus to read that. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
need to know that I got like 20, 30 minutes to look at this. So I haven't had a chance to
right.
look at it either. But
Well,
My
just from
intentions,
reading the
as
title,
always.
I knew I was going to have to look words up.
It's a lot. Well, it's depressing stuff too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I dig that
it's
kind of shit, but I also like. I really want to make sure I have the time to focus on it because, like, since I like it, I want to like actually read it.
Right.
yeah. Well, one of these days, but well, that
Yeah,
was a cool.
we should sit down and do like a little sideshow at some time. People get to know us and all the stupid
I
crap.
agree because I like this kind of organic
Yeah.
conversation that happened. Obviously, this wasn't the direction we had planned on going in.
No, and it saves me from
Weirdly,
having
I
to
was
look up
going to
news
ask
stories.
us. I was going to ask you guys some origin story questions today anyway, because, like, I love that shit.
Well, all right,
Go for it.
We only got one person listening, so yeah, go ahead, Mistress V. What's your question?
I kind of already admitted that, like, my foray into the horror fun was like dipping my toe in every few years until like basically now, where I'm like balls deep in this shit with you guys. But the like what got you into it? Like I kind of feel like we might know Psychotron's answer because he's so articulate when he tells us about watching scary shit when he was fucking 7. But like, like what brought us all to this point? What
Well, what
started?
about
What
you
kicked it
there,
all off?
Psychotron?
Well, actually, the first memory that I have of a horror movie, and people say I'm full of shit, but I'm not. I remember because I was sick, and I was probably about 3 years old, and I do remember stuff back to the time that I was 2, especially when I got in a car accident and smashed my face. I remember that vividly. So I don't care when people say, "Oh, you can't remember back that far." I can remember that far.
I got snippets.
Um,
I got snippets.
Yeah.
I was probably 3, maybe 4 at the most, and I was so feverish that I was having a hard time pretty much doing anything. But my mom was there, who and get the violins out. She wasn't there a lot of the time. Every once in a while, she'd show up and watch me. I think my grandma called her this time and said, "Hey, he's really sick, and I have to work. If your kid's gonna eat, so get your ass over here and watch your kid." But we watched American Werewolf in London, and I remember drinking orange juice and being scared shitless but fascinated, especially at the transformation process
Yeah, it was
of the
amazing.
werewolf in the movie, and his buddy that's all sliced up and dead too, that keeps bugging him. I was like scared the crap out of me the whole time, but I couldn't take my eyes off it either. And then, kind of to follow up on that, I had an uncle. My dad's brother was watching me one time, and we were out. He just had a camper out in the woods, like a camper that you have on the back of your truck,
Right.
and a generator. And we watched Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 7, and then at the end of the movie, he's like, "All right, well, good night." And the family's property they lived on had this house that was it wasn't run down or anything like that, but I had to go sleep on the couch in there because him and his girlfriend wanted to party, and I remember just laying there on this dirty couch under a blanket, just like, oh god, and then him fucking with me, making Freddy noises.
Yeah, and you just watched a movie where the goal was
Yeah.
not to go to sleep.
Right. And I had a cousin, Monique, that watched me a lot of the time too, and she introduced me to the Friday the 13th um, series, and I was probably around between the ages of 5 and 8 that watched a lot of horror, and you have the warped human being that you have today.
Yeah.
Because that's where I got mine. I think it distracts me from the real shit in life that's horrible. I mean, because there's so much horrible
Right.
shit in the world.
I think
That
that's
goes
why a
on.
lot of people do it.
Yeah, it's fun for me, and people are like, how
It
can
makes
you laugh
feel
like
like you're
this?
normal.
Yeah, how you laugh at something like that? And I think as a first responder, having been a firefighter, you develop a sense of humor. I think I already had it intact. You develop a way of dealing with that, and people ask you like, how can you laugh about something this situation or make a joke about something this way? Because if you don't, it will fucking crush you.
It'll eat you
Yeah.
alive.
Eat you
Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and even then, I mean, it still hurts you, but you know, you have to
Learn
make
how
a
to deal
joke
with it.
about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we have
It's
to
ju-
wear
it's
the
just a
humor
coping.
Kevlar.
Yeah.
Oh,
What about you, Ringmaster?
well, I had a no, normal childhood, I guess. Whoops, where'd you go? And normal dysfunctional family. Dad left. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I was a big dork and spent most of my time reading. 90% of what I read was Stephen King books. By the time I graduated high school, I'd read everything he'd written up to that point. Not so much afterwards because, well, life happens and then you ain't got time to read anymore. How that goes. But always been a fan of horror, mostly because of Stephen King. The images that he paints in his stories are just fascinating, and then you make the leap to the books, and you get in that mindset, and it's always been horror and comedy for me. As we do movie reviews and stuff, you guys will learn most of the movies I'm going to talk about are the funny ones. And if anybody's not seen it, there is one on Netflix called Porno. It's not a porno. Go watch the damn thing. It is hilarious.
I remember you talking about that before.
Yeah, I'm going to do a review here in a couple days.
Yeah, I'll
But,
watch it tonight.
yeah,
That way your review will make sense to me.
yeah. But now that I'm grown up, I've always been into haunted houses and stuff like that. When the missus and I finally settled down and bought our property, I wanted to do something with it. So that eventually there's going to be a pumpkin farm. The haunts, something I do because I can now. And that's
Can I come live in your haunt? Just live there?
I got
part of the
plenty
year?
of room, dude. It's I live on. I've got 5 acres on one side. There's 5 acres on the other. Lots of woods. Just
We'll have
don't
to
eat
talk.
my deer. I love my
I won't.
deer. My big brown dogs are so cute.
I'm not a big hunter.
Dude, it'd be
I
awesome to put a little trailer out in there, have a little patch of pumpkins and then just this little trailer and let the outside look terrible.
Oh,
And then just,
I will
every
send
once in
you
a while
pictures.
open the door in your underwear and be like, get out of here.
Let's
I'll
lower
send you
math
pictures. There's one over there.
property value.
No, the original mobile home that was on the property still sitting over there, and yes, we turned it into a Halloween prompt.
I'm in.
It's got blood, help me written across it in red paint and handprints all over, broken boarded up windows. Yeah, I've got an old camper sitting in another part. Getting ready to build my expansion and revamp a lot of stuff. We're building a circus themed area. Gonna do the whole carnival area.
Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, sorry to interrupt. I have to take a small commercial break. I will be right back.
Right
I'm
on.
horny. I'm a little horny.
You're a little yeah. I think they tend to get in the way. Well, while he's gone, I'm gonna do a little bit of news. How's that?
Do it.
Do it, yeah. We got TV and new movie news. I guess it's not TV now since there's so many streaming services out there. But Hulu announced this week they're canceling the Castle Rock series. Speaking of Stephen King,
That's going to bother some people.
pardon?
That's going to bother some people. That's a
It
pretty
bothers
cool series.
me.
Yeah, even my weak ass likes that.
Yeah.
That's a very good show.
Yeah, and that's his son Joe Hill taking the reins on that one. But it's official. Castle Rock will not be returning for a third season. Hulu has canceled the psychological horror series starring Lizzie Kaplan after 2 seasons. Our friends at Deadline have confirmed that for us. Yep. Season 2 of the anthology premiered more than a year ago. There were no expectations for a third installment, and the decision to end the series after 2 seasons was made a while ago. That they just, officially announced it. Hopefully somebody will pick it up. However, there are no plans for Castle Rock to continue on HBO Max, we hear. That had been a rumor that's out there. Have a bit of sad news from the entertainment industry. Not really a horror actor, but this one hits home. We lost Sean Connery on Halloween. Our the original James Bond died at age 90. Scottish actor was best known for his portrayal of James Bond. He's done so much else, though. Being the first to bring the role to the big screen and appearing in a record 7 times. He was knighted, so it's Sir Sean. He died peacefully in his sleep in the Bahamas, having been unwell for some time, unfortunately. And his acting career did span over 7 decades. He did win an Oscar in '88 for his role in The Untouchables. Other notable films include The Hunt for Red October, fantastic, Highlander, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade, and The Rock. Everybody loves Sean Connery. Matter of
Dude,
fact,
for real.
yeah. My mom, if she was still alive, she would be heartbroken. Sean Connery was the sexiest man alive to her. My
He's
brother,
pretty sexy.
yeah. Oh yeah, Sean Connery, hell yeah, he's a sexy
He
dude,
could have read
man.
me the dictionary.
Yeah, I ain't gay.
The phone book.
Motherfucker, sexy as hell.
Unabridged.
Yeah. But, my brother's actually named after Sean Connery.
Nice.
Myself, my first name is truly Ian. I was named after Ian Fleming, the writer of the James Bond series. So you can see where my parents' loyalties
your
lie back
parents.
then.
Nice.
However, I asked Mom if there would have been a Roger if we had a brother, and she said she absolutely hates that name. So, whatever.
Was she not a fan of his portrayal of Bond?
No, I just think she had a thing for Sean Connery, man.
Yeah.
It's just the way she is. More news for us.
Well, can I say real quick?
Oh,
Sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you.
No,
In honor of Sean Connery, I'll take the rapist for 400, Alex. You ever, you ever seen that Saturday Night Live bit?
Yeah.
Did
Speaking
you mean
of-
Very first,
pissed?
first Sean
Yeah.
Connery movie I ever saw was Entrapment, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
He's-
The man is just amazing. Any role he pulled, he could have pulled off any role. A great advocate, for several different rights groups.
I would
who would truly missed.
I would say that like his Highlander movies and stuff like that, he kind of got over into he could have done horror. He could have done anything.
Oh yeah, he could have done
Anything,
it. Yeah.
And not that there's a lot of listeners, but for the haters out there that's trying to say, "Oh, shut the fuck up. He is a good guy. He's a
Yeah.
man's man."
Man's man. That's right. Speaking of man's man,
Sorry.
Tom Holland, not the actor, the director. Tom Holland, arguably one of the best Fright Night. He wrote Fright Night, and it's arguably one of the best vampire films out there. Well, Tom officially announced the other day he is writing a sequel to Fright Night. Fright Night 2. Now, I know some of you are saying there was already a Fright Night 2. No, that was not a Fright Night 2. Tom had nothing to do with that, and that movie kind of blew.
Yeah.
There was also a recent remake called Fright Night New Blood. Also sucked. So, he didn't have anything to do with those.
Yeah,
But
the
this
one with Colin Farrell wasn't that great.
Right. But this time around, it's called Fright Night 2 Resurrection, and it's going to totally ignore the other 3 movies. It's going to be a direct sequel to the original, written by the original writer, and hopefully he'll be directing it too. Now, we hopefully, we have a friend out there, a director, Mr. Schoberg, recently, or a couple years ago, did that Fright Night play. James will be back with us. I've been talking to him. He's got some great stuff. He's got some great stuff lined up for next year, celebrating the 20th year of the Rage of the Stage Players. Unfortunately, this year due to the plague, he's theater taking a big hit.
No ass kissing going on here, but
No.
and just getting to know him, I'm noticing he's a very multifaceted, multi-talented person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very cool dude.
I love Jim. I've had multiple conversations with him. The guy's very intelligent. He's hilarious. Smart guy. And anyway, I'm kind of hoping. They did the Fright Night reading here recently for the DNC. There's been a lot of talk about Fright Night. Mostly, it's their 35th anniversary this year. hell of a year to have an anniversary. But hoping that all that, what Jim did and all the other hype has been part of the catalyst to get Tom to see that there's still fans out there and they want more. Tom is, oh Lord, he's what, 90 now? No, he's not that old.
Really?
Sorry, Tom. He's up there, man. I know he is. He's got to be.
Well, yeah, Savini's 70.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And Sarandon, how old Sarandon is? He said he's 60 now, or 60 something.
Yeah. I'd love to see a good chunk of the original cast roll back out.
I hope so.
Did you guys catch the read that they did?
I wanted to watch it. I didn't get a chance to because I had a bunch of crap that I had to deal with.
I'm sure you can still find it online. If you're a fan of Chris Sarandon's page, I know he posted some things about it. I'm sure you can still watch it somewhere. But it was most of the original cast did a script read for the original Fright Night. And Tom was there, Chris Sarandon was there, Jonathan Stark was there. Now that who played the Roddy McDowell? He couldn't have been there because he's passed away.
Was Amanda Bierce?
Amanda was there, but taking the place of Roddy was Mark Hamill.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I do remember seeing.
So
that's
yeah. Something else for you Star Wars fans. Go check this thing out. You can see or listen to Mark Hamill do a read as the great vampire killer.
Awesome.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, hopefully somebody gets an idea to make a show about the Fright Night movies and profit off it if they don't run it into the ground. That'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'm sorry.
Blumhouse, one of our favorite big production companies, has announced that Jamie Lee Curtis, I love how they say Halloween Kills star Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis has been in more than Halloween Kills, guys. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, it's what they're pushing because it's coming out, here. Well, it was supposed to come out this year. They bumped it to next October.
The dance scene in True Lies. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
We should just play that on here. Yeah.
Scream Queens. Did you guys watch Scream Queens?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great show.
I love that shit.
And Deadline, our friends at Deadline have revealed that Jamie Lee Curtis is due to helm horror flick Mother Nature for production house Blumhouse. Blumhouse? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Blumhouse,
Blumhouse, whatever they are. The movie is part of a 3-year first look film and television deal that the star and her Comet Pictures label have signed on with the studio. So that's pretty cool. On top of directing Mother Nature, which is set to be centered around climate change, Curtis is co-writing the script alongside partner Russell Goldman. So, good for Jamie. We'll see her around, get some more work for her.
Yeah.
We've got more for you. How about Mistress V? She's got her bitch crafts for broke ass witches.
Dude, and this is
I love that segment name, by the way.
Right. This is gonna be a good one. So this is actually sort of a special request. Someone asked if I could make these, so I decided to try and make one last night. I went out and it fits with the horror stuff because a lot of the shit horrifies like a lot of guys. So
yeah, this one's gonna horrify me. I already know what it is.
Can you make reusable panty liners? And I said I can make anything. So here's the little pattern. I'm gonna we'll share a link for the pattern. It was a free pattern. I'll totally pimp the site that I got it from. This chick that runs Little House Living.
Nice.
Little patterns.
Wait, those are actual patterns that you can find on the internet.
You can get these by subscribing to her she has like a little newsletter, and she'll send you this for free after you subscribe.
So to get the different sizes, you just scale it. I mean, I just added a 1/4 inch for seam allowance because I thought it looked a little small to begin with.
Do you have to personally measure each woman's vagina?
I could offer that. if we're in the same place at the same time, I could offer that. But I mean, I don't know that I'd be doing a good job. I don't know where you would want to start the measurement. But it was fun. So
That's awesome.
I still have to go find like little snaps to add to it because you have to like snap it under. But look how cute it is. It has little wings. I used some plaid cotton because it called for like a cotton flannel.
Right.
So
That's awesome.
Little cotton flannel.
Now, are they open at one end so you can put something absorbent down in there, or is the cotton? I don't know. Is the cotton going to be enough?
It allegedly is enough. By the time that you do this, so you cut 2 of each of these, and then you do them front to back. So by the time you put all this together, it's 4 layers. And then you put little snaps here, so you can snap the little wings.
Are you really going to want snaps down there?
Well, they'd be on the outside of it.
Oh, okay.
So the soft side is touching the goods. But this is to abolish like waste. So instead of having shit you use and throw away and take up space in landfills, it's the sort of the same premise as like just non-disposable diapers for babies. Instead of throwing away a bunch of stuff, you just wash it or using them.
The missus and I were having that conversation last night about the women tax, as they say.
Right, the pink tax.
Yeah, all the things that you guys have to buy that cost way more than they should. Even example I know of is razors. Why do women's razors cost more than men's?
I don't even buy women's razors because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what she said. I said that's why mine keep disappearing.
Yeah, I don't give a shit what color that razor is, but it is in that same vein where it's like we have to pay for all this just because we have, because we serve that function, we have to use these things, and the amount of money we spend on that is like asinine, and I think I've mentioned it before. I recently had a hysterectomy, so I don't have to use these things anymore. It doesn't mean particularly I'm saving a lot of money. That was an expensive surgery.
Yeah, right. But it's one and done.
The hassle being gone is really nice.
Right.
So, unfortunately, I cannot test this. So.
So we're gonna put the link to where you could find that pattern on the website. You guys want to check that out? Hey, and if you are just checking us out on Facebook, don't forget, guys, we've got YouTube. We've got I don't know, Psychotron. What all do we have, man? You're the master in charge of that stuff. We can't hear you. You muted yourself. I can't unmute you.
We got Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, obviously. We got the podcast. I'm working on Twitter.
We have a podcast?
Yeah.
Fucking
apparently.
Weird.
Yeah.
Where are you getting the audio for that?
I don't know.
Okay, just a second here.
Found it in the dumpster behind Mickey D's.
Yeah. Where all the good stuff is.
We
download
it from another show.
Yeah.
Naughty, stop.
Well, there's been 2 times where ringmasters I could tell he's like, God damn it, Jenkins, shut up. Twitter I'm working with, we're trying to figure out how it's going a little, I mean, progress is coming along good. We've got some followers, a lot of horror folks out there, and they got a lot of followers, a lot of Netflix and stuff like that. We're going to start.
Of which, wait, I got to interrupt just for a second.
Nope.
We hit this morning 420 followers.
Yeah. Yep. And I noticed
420.
Yeah. What?
And I know we were joking earlier, there's only a couple people watching right now, but later on we've had over 280 views on our first podcast. Then we took a little Halloween break, and I think things are going to continue to get better, and I really got to give it to the fans out there. They're very enthusiastic, and I think they appreciate the fact that we're one of the only horror based pages and podcasts that really tend to stick to horror, especially on the page.
Right.
We don't get into politics. We don't get into personal stuff. We don't, we don't have a bunch
Oh,
of.
damn. I was just going to ask what everybody did for Halloween, too.
Well, no. I mean, we don't go on there and post.
Kept it freaky.
Ringmaster doesn't go on there and post about how bad his hemorrhoids are, and Val doesn't.
Nobody wants to know that shit.
That's what I'm talking. Nobody, gets on there and like, oh well, today I fucking killed my pet chicken. Nobody. People want to hear. People want a distraction, and that's what horror has always been. That's what science fiction's always been. That there's enough shit going on in the world where they come there for that, and unfortunately, you see on a lot of pages these days that are supposed to be. You'll have some that are that have horror specifically in the title of their page name, and they're posting about politics.
No, I try to keep most of the shit on the page horror related.
Yeah.
I do tend to go off on a little tangent every once in a while. I have noticed, and and hopefully our fans are going to be watching this broadcast this far in. We'll see. I do know that our viewership, the people that follow our page is female 2 to 1.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool. We love you.
What's
you
up,
freaky
ladies?
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because of this sexy motherfucker right here.
You're dead sexy, baby. Yeah. Yeah. And
We're all
And I
irresistible
crush
who
beer
have an
can.
insatiable lust for the dead.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I think that's pretty interesting statistic, actually.
Yeah, it is. See, there's one of them now.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful, how you doing?
Miss Maruka.
Yeah,
Can I say last name like
she'll tell you how rough it is trying to
her.
get me to watch scary movies for 10 years.
Cole says it's your beard.
Oh,
thanks,
Cole.
Both of us.
Ooh.
Thanks.
I was working on mine, but all right.
Well, Cole, it tickles when you play with it, just so you know. Hey.
Cole. Hey, my buddy Steve chiming in. Hi, Steve. Glad you're up and around.
This guy's everywhere. I love this guy.
Steve, oh yeah, Steve,
Yeah.
Steve, yeah. This is my best friend from high school, man. He just had surgery. He had a liver and oh, help me out here. He had something else. What else do you have, Steve? But he's like the bionic fucking man now.
Cool.
Damn, liver's some serious shit, man.
Yeah,
Hope you're doing good.
Yeah. Apparently he's doing all right, and we're glad he's still kicking with us, Nikki says it's your horns. She likes those.
Do I make you horny, baby? Do I?
The great horned Psychotron.
My wife's gonna scalp me on the ass.
Yeah, what is with the horns, man? I really gotta know.
I like them.
I'm Psychotron.
Oh, okay. No explanation needed then.
No, the morning before each show, I get so excited that horns sprout out of my beanie, and and this band appears between them. I don't know. It looks pretend, but it's real. It's totally real.
All real.
No,
Speaking of real shit,
just to finish the answer, I had them laying around for me and my wife's extracurricular sexual activities. And did I say that out loud?
Not very loud, but
well,
I mean.
No, I had them. I had them laying around. I washed them off, and then
thank you for washing them.
And then I just thought, I kind of felt like it was just kind of a I don't know. It's some kind of statement. I just haven't figured out what it is yet.
I used to have a hat that I really loved that I picked up. Do you remember that store that was in Boise? It was called the Costume Shop.
Yep.
It's been closed for a long time now, but it was the greatest costume store I've ever been to. It was year round. They had real Victorian dresses. I mean, it was a fucking spectacle in there. Like,
that
it was
place
amazing.
was the shiznit.
I have several pairs of shoes from there that you would only see in very dark places. Like, I love that store so much. It's just still heartbreaking that it's closed. but I'd gotten a cool little hat. It was like a black beanie with like little baby nubbin devil horns that I used to wear all the time, and I don't know what happened to it, and I think about that hat all the time.
It's yeah, I mean, you can find stuff like that, but why not just do it yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remake the hat probably because it was one of my very favorite things, and someone probably jacked it at a party or something.
I hate when that happens.
I just remembered why I wore them on the first show in the first place, and it's so unimportant to me now that I completely forgot, but it was to represent that I'm done with the bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and so then it just kind of stuck, and now it's Psychotron is different than who the real me is. Well, Psychotron's a real person by himself, but he's a what did you guys know about Cecil Hotel?
Yeah, an actual horror related question. Now what?
Anyway, Psychotron's real and Dan's real, but you know, I gotta be me. I gotta be Psychotron on Sundays.
I gotta be me.
Psychotron Sundays.
Psychotron Sundays.
Is that the name of your new band? Because I'm from
No, yeah, I got that song from a Megadeth song actually called Psychotron. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Megadeth songs ever. The Cecil Hotel. Where is that?
I don't know anything about the Cecil Hotel, Nikki. I just put it in the show notes, and I will look it up for next week.
I want to know.
Yeah. I do have a place I want to talk about. It's the deadliest. I'm gonna look it up, Nikki. Relax.
Nick, are we going there? Because we should go there.
She's on me. Yes, ma'am. We will get right on that one for next week's show.
Where is it, Nikki? If you don't mind answering real quick, I will look it up.
Oh, hang on. She's laughing at me.
I love her.
Yeah, I like Nikki. She's awesome.
Wait, you guys
we're gonna have
are
her on here.
both friends with her, and I'm not friends with her on Facebook.
Dude, you better add her.
What
She's
the fuck?
titties. The titties.
She is the titties.
The titties. Adding Nikki.
Adding Nikki. But the place I
she'll
want to
have
talk
me.
about is the deadliest garden in the world. This place is so deadly, even breathing can kill you.
What?
Ooh.
Yep. This place is in Northumberland in the UK. It's called the Alnwick Garden. You'll be greeted with strange sights, a big pair of massive iron gates marked with a skull and crossbones. And there's a stark warning that these plants can kill. They are not just for decoration. This special section is truly one of the world's most dangerous gardens. Behind those gates, you'll find over 100 different poisonous plants, some of which can kill with a taste, a touch, or even just a sniff. Even though, there are several of these poisonous gardens around the world. Different people have done them for different reasons.
Only
It's,
the British.
No.
I will do this. I
are,
want to do this.
but they are all over the world. But the variety represented in the Alnwick Garden makes it the most toxic garden ever, and you can visit it. All right, so I think we all need to get our passports in order and go take a trip to this thing. Tours are limited. Safety instructions are very clear. Visitors have felt how just poisonous this section of the garden can be. People have fainted after taking too deep of a breath just walking through it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going.
Certain plants
I'm
are
in.
so dangerous that they are kept in cages to avoid accidental touching.
That's crazy.
But it remains a popular destination, even with children. In fact, the garden was designed by the Duchess of Northumberland, partially with educating youngsters in mind. Oh, most of Alnwick Garden's 14 acres are completely safe. You can stroll through them, and smell the beautiful flowers.
Just don't brush up against the wrong plant, or you're gonna fucking die.
No. This is out. The garden's more than just this gated part. This part has a gate and a 6-foot tall fence around it. has over
Imagine like
100.
some Adams Family level, like beautiful, like
Yeah.
amazing fucking
I'm a-
entrance to that
And
section.
I'm imagining like a tall, gaunt guy, like, "Welcome to Northumberland Garden." And like, if you get, I'm sorry for any Brits that I know, which I do.
Yes,
Because yeah, that was terrible.
I'm an
man.
obnoxious person.
I don't have any pictures of this place. Because the park is so frequently visited by families, the gates are only open to guided tours with constant supervision.
There's got to be like you got to be like signing liability and waiver and all that shit.
I know the laws are different in different countries.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
True.
Probably not
Yeah.
as sue happy there as we are in the good old United States.
Yeah. I know, it's almost like it's a national trend.
I mean, like,
I know. No. I'm talking
well,
about
but-
lawsuit. Yeah.
What does that say?
America,
Fuck yeah!
coming to kick your motherfucking ass out.
I haven't
Speaking
seen
of
that
things
in
I made
ages.
this week.
Funny story, Tom Savini is the special effects lead on that.
Really?
One of my
Yep, Team America.
probably one of my favorite movies that he's worked on. Then
You know what? I don't think I've actually, and that was the guys from South Park, right? That
Yeah.
was Trey, and yeah.
man.
Yeah, you'd remember.
Matt Stone,
Yeah,
Trey Parker.
I remembered it was like marionettes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
puppets. It's just totally obnoxious. He's like,
It was-
Oh,
he's,
so
remember
I
he's
didn't-
looking
and
through
it
the
has-
scope now. He's like, I think he's saying "kiss me, smart ass motherfucker."
That movie, you know, it was very edgy for the time,
It was
right?
timely.
But I will say, if you've never watched it and you watch it now, it has not held up well politically. It is
Yeah, it
hilarious,
was-
but in a very awful fucking way.
it was during the whole where we were going through the whole axis of evil with North Korea and
Right,
Iran
yeah.
and Iraq and 9/11 and all that, and they just did a whole parody of it. And like Kim Jong Il is one of the puppets, and he's always like yelling at UN Inspector Hangebridge. And it's just it's South Park. It's not politically correct.
Of course
It's not, and it is downright just fucking.
As time passes, it will become more and more insensitive.
The more sensitive our society gets, the more that. But
Yeah,
I
I
fucking love
remember
it.
when it came out, man. It was all controversial and shit.
I remember the first preview I saw for it. It was like Samuel L. Jackson, Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon, and somebody else are going to be super fucking offended because like, the puppets
Yeah.
were made to look like,
Right.
you know, A-list actors. And it was like,
they're
like I don't know how they
it's-
got away with some of it.
it's going to be on the burn. They're going to be on the burn book pile, the banned book pile here pretty soon.
Hey, I got one more segment for you guys. Our people are effed up segment. Gee, where have I heard that before? Oh, anyway. One from the Freak Show. That's right. A Florida man arrested after stealing mail while wearing only his underwear and then attacking the homeowner.
In Florida,
Oh,
no
the
way.
Florida
In
man.
Florida. Yeah, well, you know, the bit was originally called Florida is messed up, but we've come to find they're from all over the country and in fact all over the world. But yeah, this one just does happen to come from Hawthorne, Florida. A man is facing several charges after deputies say he stole mail from a woman while he was wearing only his underwear. On Thursday, deputies responded to the call and they heard the bizarre story from the homeowner. The woman telling authorities she came outside to find a man in his undergarments taking mail out of her mailbox. When she asked what he was doing, 64-year-old David Dunaway began yelling incoherently and attempted to attack her while she was in her vehicle. Dunaway swung at her through the window but only hit her with the stolen mail, according to the report. Woman drove a short distance away just to put some space between her, but he chased her down. The female homeowner pulled out a handgun which she had in the vehicle and told him she would shoot him if he kept coming after her. According to the report, he then took off. You see, you go after somebody in your underwear, man. What do you think?
You know, for
We give him
Florida,
the
that
award.
doesn't.
So
That
that
doesn't
bad
really-
giving the effed up award for this.
There you go.
For Florida, though, that seems pretty
Pretty
mild.
tame,
To be
yeah.
honest with you.
My favorite was the guys driving around with the with the aluminum telephone pole in their car.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was something else.
However, Dunaway was arrested, charged with burglary and assault or battery, resisting officers without violence. Remains in custody. Probably not now. This is over a week old, but he remains in custody with a bond of $60,000. So, yep, our People Are Fucked Up award goes to Mr. David Dunaway
Well, there,
Good
there
job.
of
David.
Hawthorne, Florida.
Pretty
Yay!
the first F ribbon.
You get
Yeah.
the very first inaugural F ribbon.
Sure, Grandma would be proud.
Yeah. Have you guys?
You
You, guys
ever,
you watch Penn and Teller?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed their award just says "FU" on it?
I never noticed that before.
Yeah, the Fool Us award. It's like that.
See, now that you-
It just says "FU" on it.
Now that you bring that up, how long has it been since you've seen Penn and Teller get killed? I haven't seen that movie in.
Oh, decade. Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
a long time. Yeah.
That's a great movie, though.
It is. I love Penn and
Everything
Teller.
they do is good.
Yeah.
Penn's a real
Oh.
smart man.
Yeah.
I appreciate him.
Yeah, I'm a fan of bullshit, and I wish I would bring more of that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else you guys got this week? Anything good?
Well, I had a little bit about. I had a lot of bit about sleep paralysis and the Hag. I think maybe we'll wait till next week to cover that
Right.
because we're running a little. We got
Little
about
late, yeah.
13 minutes, and we're having a good time though.
Yeah, we are.
I was gonna, on a serious note, I know this time of year can get really hard on a lot of people, and this isn't a thing about not caring about women's mental health. But I'll be frankly, there's just more resources and social programs for females when they have issues like that. Men's mental health
There's
gets ignored quite a bit. And I know a gal named Jade Garraway. She's an awesome lady. She's across the pond in Britain. And if you check out hashtag Men Only Mental Health Awareness, she has a Facebook group. And you can find it pretty easy. And she is a huge advocate. I've never seen somebody that's, virtually a stranger to me and a lot of people that follow her spend so much time going out of her way to actually connect, help. And this isn't a lysis thing. She's not a psychiatrist or anything like that, but she's very natural at what she does. So if you know a guy that's going through a hard time and maybe he's lost his job in this pandemic and he's trying to support a family, or I've been there, I know a lot of people have been there, or there's this stuff that you're not supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to man up. You're supposed to suck it up and stuff like that. And that's bullshit, frankly. You need to take care of yourself. Doesn't mean you're not a man. Doesn't mean you're not tough. Doesn't mean you're not masculine. It takes a lot of balls to say, hey, I'm in pain. I'm hurt. I need help. I can't do this by myself. And I know the military is great at teaching you how to not talk about especially your mental health and things that you're going through. But that's just not real life. So get a chance, check her out. And also, I don't have a sponsor with these guys. I don't get anything from them or anything else. But Everyman Jack beard butter and beard wash, I want to give a huge shout out to them because their product is amazing. And it's what keeps my beard healthy and luscious. And
that beard is a specimen.
I appreciate it. Candace says she prefers me using this beard butter to other oils because it feels a lot better on her thighs. So
Nice.
You heard it here first.
you did. They don't call me Red Beard for nothing.
It's not. It doesn't look red
Well, at
at
least
all.
1 week of the month.
It actually has quite a bit of red in it. Ask Val. It's going all white right
I
here.
have been in proximity of the beard recently.
I
But
am a red.
not that close proximity.
I am a redhead. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
I'm not a true ginger, but
Semi ginger.
I'm a halfling.
Red lips.
I'm not Ron, you know.
Yeah,
But
I want to do a shout out here. I'm trying to get I left it upstairs. My wife, I'm trying to get the missus to bring it down to me.
Liz!
Hey, Jason says he wants that beard.
Okay, listen, let me tell you something about Jason Cornell, okay? He's a sweet, innocent, baby-faced looking guy. Can't grow a beard to save his life. But he is one of the first people to pull out a gun and shoot you. He's a Navy corpsman. I have the utmost respect for him. And even though he can't grow a beard, they call him Cornell Hormel, and there's a reason for that. The dude's got a hog. The dude's got a hog the size of Mississippi. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't think a nondescript, mild-mannered goofball walking around like that has a giant penis, but he does. Jason, I just want to say thank you for your massive hog.
There you go, ladies.
It.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time. He's too nice of a guy. He's having a hard time trying to find a lady. They don't know what they're missing.
Thank you. I want to put a shout out to Matt. Now I gotta see. I was gonna follow that up.
Derailment.
Yeah, I had a nice segue planned for that, and you started talking about Jason's giant penis.
Well, no, I was
How do you
my
follow
Metlon
something like
today,
that?
you fuckers.
Where you go, Jason? Where you at, Hornell?
I want to shout out to Mad Hatter Creations. This guy's out of New York, does all types of cool stuff. Let me. I actually won this on his page the other day. It's a cool little notebook.
Dude, that's awesome.
You guys, isn't that bad? Isn't that badass?
Yeah,
All
it looks
3D.
I saw your picture of it, but seeing it up close is fucking cool.
But he does all types of different stuff, koozies, lighter covers. He's got these little keychain things that he does. That's Mad Hatter Creations. Find him on Facebook. I've posted a couple links about him. I'll post a couple more just because I really dig this guy's stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a booth in one of my fairly local shop. It's called Phase Cabinet. It's over on the north side of Fort Wayne here. And they have all types of, nifty little stuff like that. V might be someplace you might look into getting into. They have people from all over the country sell their wares there, and you don't have you can make the trip and come see us out here in the Midwest.
Right, I could bring some of my things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had like all kinds of stuff just in case we needed like some time filler. Like this is one of my other things I do is I make wands for nerdy people.
See, those are totally
That's
cool.
fucking awesome.
Aren't they neat? Like it's kind of accidental side gig that I got into.
Val,
Right.
you just need to tell us to shut the fuck up sometimes. And
Yeah.
Well,
show us
it's
your
like
cool stuff.
we're gonna do this for a while. I can always show these things off like literally anytime. This one's full of watch parts.
That's fucking
Like
crazy.
all
Tree of life.
steampunk and shit. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, so cool. One of my favorite ones.
And,
That's
And you
badass.
can hear
So-
them in there.
I hope you're making a lot of money off this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
awesome
that
by
like someday
itself.
I might.
yeah. Maybe you go to Carnegie Mellon University and meet Tom Savini and make special effects props.
How cool would that be? I love bees. I got a lot of little bee things. Little bee wand.
Well, so V, do you have like a little Etsy shop or anything like that?
I do, but I only have like a sample listing on there that has like a picture with some of these on it. This is a little octopus one. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Little onyx
you make-
crystal on the end of it.
I'm no joking, and I'm not downplaying what you're doing. Can you make me like a scepter out of like a giant purple dildo,
Probably.
like a royal scepter?
Why does it always got to go there?
That's
well,
just-
I mean, like
That's all I
zips
got,
are
man.
Cool.
Okay. Like
That's all I got.
that's all I have left.
This one's
All
a
I got
custom
left
one.
is
I
my
need to get
penis.
mailed off. Like-
Dick and fart jokes, dude. That's beautiful, actually.
That is.
Isn't that crazy?
Look at that.
There's big smoky quartz on there, and on the back
That's
I got
beautiful.
a little
That has
snail
power.
hide on the back. Yeah, that one's one of the ones that's going to Idaho. Pretty cool.
Right
It's one
on.
of the bigger ones I've made. It's like 14
You
inches.
gotta that's a wait. I thought that was 14 inches.
No, they've been lying to you, brother.
Man,
Hey, we gotta
you're going to the wrong
Candace.
hardware store.
We gotta. I was measuring in centimeters.
Uh,
Candace, we gotta show her this. She
no,
would.
why? Because she's
probably
been
order-
lying to you about what 14 inches is.
Oh, she doesn't. She doesn't lie. She's brutally honest.
She's a forest witch like me.
Like, you know, it's a standard model size, but it's really good at its job, honey.
It's an overachiever. Yeah, I got tons of
Yeah.
those. There's at
It
least,
gets
there's
it
at
gets
least
good
30 of those
mileage.
things in front of me right now. Good mileage. You want to see a you want
Hey,
to see a thick
I'm
one?
40. I'm 42. My wife's 26. I think I'm holding on pretty good. When she hits 30, I'm a fucking dead man.
Oh, dude, yeah. Hopefully,
It's over.
Hopefully you don't die.
I almost
There's one of
did the other night.
One of my thicker ones. Like
Ooh.
that is, I'm mid-stroke on this one. It's not painted yet.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a
Sure.
really wide one.
That's
Working
cool. I
on
like the
that.
black quartz.
Yeah, it's pretty cool
Those
shit.
are really fucking badass.
Yeah, I love these things. I got a whole bunch of them, kind of midway
Look,
here on the desk.
You
Just in
should
case we
post
needed
some
to,
of that
like,
stuff
show
on the
off cool shit.
page.
I should. I need to.
I post vendors.
She's a-
I post cool vendors on there all the time.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
humble,
totally.
dude. She doesn't.
Like I hide them. Like a lot of it I cater to my own fandoms. Like I like fucking Pokemon and shit. Like
You need to
That
make,
one has immense power.
you need to make me a big
Such
ringmaster staff.
Make him the
rad,
staff. I want a dildo scepter.
dude. I got this
I'm not kidding.
rainbow one. Makes me think of you guys.
Thanks. Hey.
Alrighty then.
Accidentally got into that hobby. Like I've been doing it for a couple of years. One of my friends is really into Harry Potter, and she was redecorating her bedroom. She had this long, arduous battle with her husband about how she wanted to decorate her whole house themed. And he was like, no, for a long time. And finally, he gave in. He's like, you can do the bedroom. She's like, all right, guys, I can finally do it. I can decorate the bedroom. So all of us started making stuff for her Harry Potter bedroom. And her bedroom is like crazy cool now. So it's like just a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I was like, I'm going to make her a surprise. So I busted out this really cool wand. I made, I started making them with like little fake gems because I could color them any way I wanted. And so I made her this one. I was like, what's your favorite color? Like, so I was like I'm going to make you a surprise. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But, it's like, what's your favorite color? Do you like silver or gold better? Like really vague questions to her. So I make her this one and I send it to her. I'm like, all right, your surprise is on the way. And so after that, I posted how, like the different steps and how I made it. And a lot of people were like, hey, that's really neat. And accidental side gig.
Right?
No, that's really cool, man.
All right.
Very cool. Nikki, I'm not that big of a creep. I just have mild Tourette's.
All right, boys and girls. Too bad. So sad. That's it. That's all. Hope you had a ball, y'all. This is the Three Freak Circus. We're going to get on out of here. Go find you some more news for this coming week. I am the Ringmaster. That's Psychotron, Mistress V. Stay freaky, my friends.
Yes.
I had to cut him off.
I needed the release. It's been a long week.
I like that we keep it freaky to the bitter end.
I didn't think from how this morning started, I didn't think today was going to be as fun as it was. So I'm really glad that it turned